Okay, week 3 against the Chicago Bears. We are going to enjoy this one. Not so much the result, more some of the things that we're seeing develop. Right out the gate, this first snap incorporates two of the things that I've been very excited about as I track the early games. The Cowboys have been using a lot of the pistol weak and pistol strong formation, and you'll see here they're in a pistol weak formation. And it's been interesting to see the different ways they're deploying their personnel out of this formation, out of these formations. Quite often we are seeing where they start with three out wide, motion somebody in to get to this look, which is what happened here. It's been Javonte Williams, it's been Cavante Turpin. We have seen various run plays, we've seen screens, we've seen passes. So that to me is exciting. But now what ends up happening here is the other thing that we're tracking, which was actually the first thing, is the Cowboys' use of the gap run scheme or power run scheme. So you'll see Tyler Booker motioning in here, and if you've been paying attention at all, you know exactly what it is you're seeing. You can see your wall being built here. Let's go ahead and just draw it in. You can see your wall being built here, right? You can see Tyler Booker coming around. He's your wham, coming to that D gap defender because there was a tight end here, so it's the D gap. And then you can see Hunter Lepke is actually about to climb up to the second level, or he's going to meet this first second level defender further down here on the edge. That's your wrap. So we're seeing all of the elements of the power run as we've discussed the first 2 weeks, and we're seeing it out of that pistol formation. It was successful. I think we gained, 7 yards or so here. It was a great run. And again, we've talked about Javonte a few times, but you're going to again see his patience, his vision, and now he gets small through the hole, and he keeps his legs turning on contact. It's textbook running from Javonte. Now, this one was more than a bit disappointing. This is the second time in 3 weeks a Cowboys running back has broken one out for a big run and then done something to disappoint us. This strip was just way too easy getting it out of his hands. Of course, we all know that. We don't need to go over that too much. But what we can say is that we see another instance of getting our big guys out on the run. So we're going to get Terrence Steele. Again, we've seen Terrence Steele pull over the top and go look for somebody to hit. You're going to have Smith and Guyton out in space looking for people to hit. This type of bully ball, I want to continue to see. And I don't want the Cowboys to feel discouraged. Fumbles are going to happen. But these are the recipes for a successful, not just a successful season, because a successful season can look like anything. But this is the recipe for a successful December football, cold weather football. You know, when you can run the ball, Javonte Williams was averaging 7.6 yards per carry, right? So if you can run the ball, you're going to put yourself in favorable positions no matter what stadium you play in, indoor, outdoor, climate, rain, snow. If you can run the ball, you're in a favorable position because some of those weather conditions aren't favorable for the pass game, of course. So here we're gonna get us a play action pass, and the thing that's nice about it, we still have a lot of this movement, right? You see the motion, but you also see, as we've discussed before, marrying the run and the pass. So after CD motions, we're gonna get this pull-in lineman because this looks like our run plays, right? We've been doing a lot of this with our run plays, so you got to incorporate that into your play action. But now CD's gonna move, linemen are gonna move with him. You're gonna get your play action. That's gonna make these linemen hold just a little bit longer, and then now here you go. You give yourself a little bit of an advantage just with all of this movement that's going on and all of this play action that's going on. Third play we got wing. So one thing you're going to notice here and throughout the tape is that we were incorporating the zone running game a lot more in this game than we had been in the two previous games. We mixed it up in the first two games and we mixed it up in this one, but the mixture was a little bit more focused on zone in this game than the first two. And that's going to be something interesting to watch as the season progresses. As we discussed when we watched the Giants tape, oh no, we watched the Eagles tape. Was it going to be a different scheme versus the Eagles and the Giants based on those big maulers they have in the middle of the offensive line? Is that the reason? We'll now be able to monitor this as we go throughout the season to see, hey, when we're more zone heavy, what particular players are we playing against, or what scheme are we playing against? So I'm gonna actually go back and compare these three to see what I can find different between the Bears and the Giants and the Eagles. And then, of course, as we move forward, we'll continue to juxtapose when, why, and how we use these different run schemes. See, the tight end's gonna come and block against the grain. It's a split zone. See these in motion. Now we're going to fake that toss. I do enjoy that fake toss. And you'll see, we actually did gain an advantage by doing it. It's just that uh, Ferguson's route was picked up well by the linebacker. So when you see the fake toss, you do get 44 jump out. So you're gaining some space. But the route that we were targeting wasn't benefited much by the fake. Under center, we've been under center a lot. This play was very unfortunate. This was the play that CeeDee Lamb got injured, and I think nobody got to the second level to 44, so he was able to scrape all the way over the top and make this play, unfortunately. You got trips to the top of the screen. Easy pitch and catch. And one of the things that I focused on this in this game, because you would know I talked a lot in the last game about the use of Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele, but mostly Tyler Guyton, and how he was being relied on to set vertically against the defensive ends, and it was putting him on an island. I noticed in this game, I saw a lot less of the vertical sets from Tyler Guyton. I saw much more 45s and jump sets, which are much better because for Guyton, it allows him to get his hands on and just be strong. He's not that big guy who's going to be dancing in space, but he can fight you in a phone booth. So you'll see here, there's an example of that. Yeah, so there's a 45. Mind you, there's a switch. He did a good job picking up the switch too. You see the stunt, 55 and 56, I think it is, are going to cross. They're going to stunt, but they're going to do a good job passing that off. Well, Dak has that thing on a string sometimes. Throwing the ball out there to the sidelines, it might just be a 7-yard throw, but it's not traveling 7 yards. That is a great throw. On time, on target, can't ask for more than that. And again, you're going to see Guyton. And this is a fast pass, so he's not going to be doing a vertical set anyway. But you see Guyton's able to just get into the block and do his job. They were tight. There you go. See another zone run. This time Javonte cut it back. And here's why he cut it back. See big 95? So Javonte now, what you're doing is you're watching your linemen to see where white jerseys are. So because you see blue here, you're not going there. White, great. So you want to cut back in here, right? This battle rate here is still undetermined, but with 95 there, you just got to cut back and then figure it out when you get there. And look at that. So he's giving you a little bit of a lane. Nobody got to that second level defender, but Javonte Williams, I'm an NFL running back. I can make one guy miss. Great job. So now these are some of the formations where we were starting to see some of that motion. I don't believe we saw it on this one, but when you start to see they're in tight, you see more than one tight end on the field, or you see the fullback who doubles as the tight end, that's when you can start looking. And under center, that's when you can start looking for that motion that we like to watch for. Again, zone run. But again, it's a successful run, right? So the game plan coming into this game was to use the zone considerably more than we did in the first two games. And it worked. So whatever it is that made the coaches make that decision is something that we're going to uncover as we continue to go through the season and figure out when it is they decide to lean more heavily on one run versus the other. It could be that Cooper Beebe's injured, right? Now, I don't think so because they didn't rely on Cooper Beebe to pull as a primary puller. More often than not, it was the guards pulling, right? So I'm not sure that that's it, but just trying to figure out what the variable was that determined that scheme. We'll figure it out. Yeah, see, and that's the backup center, Hoffman, right? He's not as strong or as fast as Cooper Beebe, but he will get the job done, and he is strong. Don't get me wrong, but see, he's already leaning here, so he's lost. He's lost that rat. Dak was able to get it out though. Stacked receivers, running zone again, and I do notice Miles Sanders seems to get a good deal of outside zone runs, and he did a good job on this one. He read it right. Good dump off. Let's take a look at the tackles. It's a great job by Guyton. Stays ready, stays in position, keeping that hand up. The hand drops. The hand dropped. So you don't want to see that. But he did a good job on contact. He looked like he's resetting. There he goes. And he gave Dak all the time he needed. Good rap, Guyton. Good rap. Go ahead and kick us a field goal. Even though we lost, I suppose Bottle was the MVP again this week. Dak had a lot of time in the pocket there, didn't he? Let's see what's going on. Pickens at the bottom of the screen. He's just going to find a soft spot in zone. So you see on this wrap, Guyton is going towards the defensive end. See that? Jump set. And he has his hands on and he is fighting. I want you to take another look at Tyler Guyton on this wrap. Guyton, you deserve to get your flowers. This is where I want to see him. Not that he doesn't lose when he's jump setting or when he's using a 45, but when he gets his wins, it's usually in these situations. Yeah, so I'm playing this back just so I can say this. This is what makes you say you can take a tackle at 20 something in the draft, even though he's a bit raw or he went to a small school. That Tyler Guyton is what we want to see you build on. Great job, young man. All right, so again, we're in those formations where we start to look for that motion. Either one of these guys can give us that motion. I don't think we got it here. I think we did get a motion, but not the motion and kick back out. Yes, he motioned, he set. He did move back across the line of scrimmage in similar fashion after the snap, but it's not the one that we've been tracking. That said, let's take a look at the play. I'm going to motion across the line of scrimmage. I'm going to set. Play action. A world of time. It's too bad Dak didn't Feel comfortable with any of his options. Yeah, no. He could have possibly thrown this to Cavante. So hear me out, because I've seen Dak do this with CD. He's not gonna throw the route you're running per se, because this is gonna get you in trouble with that safety. But what Dak could do is throw that ball out here and make you flatten this route out. So you're coming back to the ball away from the defenders. So let's look at the protection. Guyton, I'm looking at you. I am focused on Guyton. We'll take a look at Steele in a minute. And then we also do want to see how Hoffman's doing. Guyton got a good chip from the back. Javante, I like that. Well, let's see. Guyton got those hands outside. Got a little grabby. Still looks like he has control of his man. Your tackles are doing okay right now. Tyler Booker controlling 97. That's why Dak had so much time in the pocket. The offensive linemen looked like they all had the rap of their lives. That was awesome. That was a nice little joke. Don't let anybody tell you I didn't say that we were using zone a lot more in this game, right? Beautifully blocked. Beautifully blocked. Look at Javante just take his time. He's going to give that little jab stat while he's waiting for the blocks to set up. There it goes. You see what that did to 44? That got 44 blocked. Watch the jab stat. Right here. And then watch 44. Watch how he reacts. That gave Javante what he needed. That gave Javante what he needed. Watch the jab stat right here. And watch 44 right here. Watch his reaction as the jab stat is taking place right now. He jumps inside. And that gave Javante exactly what he needed. Tyler Booker is able to get his hands on him. Javante is able to get through the hole. We got Bunch to the top of the screen. We're rolling again. We're rolling. Look at what he turns these broken plays into. You're here, ball on the 35. Contact is made at the 35. This should be 2nd and 10. Take another look from this side. So right here, we're looking clean. Somebody needs to get up to 49. Nobody gets there. Oh, the tight end lost. Looked like the tight end lost on his block. Yep, the tight end did not reach and overtake that block. So that really made things difficult for Javante. He didn't have much to run to anyway, but that made it a whole lot harder. But he still picks up 5 yards. Okay, this looks like it might be one of our formations. Let's see. All right, we've got 3 tight ends in the game. All 3 of them on the same side of the line of scrimmage. Bradman Spanford is about to motion to the other side. And we're going. Power run. That was a good job adjusting by Smith on the move. Watch Tyler Smith, 73. See this? He adjusts that defensive end. This run could have been a 2-yard loss. That's a great job. And Hunter got through the hole and made his block. We'll see it better from the other angle. It's beautiful teamwork. So Spanford's going to motion. He's going to motion back. And then with all power runs, we're going to get our block on the edge from the ram, and then we are going to get our block on the second level defender from our wrap. There goes wham, wrap. See, that's the block that you couldn't really see from the other angle. It's a good job. And Miles was patient. Miles actually waited to try to run behind that wrap block. See, he could have tried to bust this outside. And this is the sort of thing that I was saying that he was guilty of in the past. So this is more discipline than I've seen from him. And I welcome it. More than anything, I want to see it. I want him to prove me wrong. When Dak's ready to rip it, Dak can rip it. Watch Tyler Guyton here, though. See, I think his man got his hand on him. Big 96. He got his hands on the inside and was able to control him from the looks of it. We'll know better from this angle. But he's doing good. Hands are up. Oh no, Guyton's hands are inside. He just got tossed to the side. Yeah, he got tossed. But fortunately, he wasn't able to. 96 wasn't able to affect the play because they ran into traffic. Jalen Tolbert with a good catch. Turn up field, got a couple extra yards. Well done. And this one was fun. This was a little bit of trickery. And you can see where this has the makings of something that can catch a team off guard. Um, Great for short yardage. We've seen the Kansas City Chiefs do similar. So because the schemes that we incorporate, you see us doing a lot of this motion already. You see a lot of these pulling blockers because this is all it looks like, right? If you're on defense right now, it looks like these guys are coming to do this for Miles Sanders to run the ball, right? That's exactly what it looks like. So when you do the play action here and pitch to 87, this is more of what we were talking about, marrying the run game to the pass game. But this is actually layering the run game and still marrying it back to itself, if that makes any sense, right? So we're not just using a bunch of trick plays that don't connect or that don't make sense to together. Because if you're doing a whole bunch of disjointed things, you're not putting together a plan that's really gonna logically confuse anybody. But if you have a defensive coordinator who's studying the tape of the Dallas Cowboys, his team knows these power runs are coming. His team sees these. They are also going to see all the many ways we use them, so they're going to be prepared. So when you see this, you automatically, okay, 24, go get him. But you switch it up, pitch it to the tight end, and look at where 98 is. Look where you caught 98. 98 thought he had a all-pro move. Like this would have been a loss of about 4 or 5 yards. But guess what you did? You didn't need to block 98. You got 98 out of the play. He recovered. I'll give him that. He recovered and made the tackle. But this is well schemed. If you're not excited about our run game, I'm not sure what you're watching. And this is Javonte just being a man. This is all Javonte. We haven't seen anybody doing these sorts of things since Prime Zeke. I'm not saying he's Prime Zeke, but for the value, do you take him over Prime Zeke? There's the question. I'm gonna put that on X. That's gonna mess with guys. When you think about the value, Zeke at the fourth pick overall versus Javonte Williams for what we gave up for him, who would you rather have right now? And I'm a huge Zeke fan. I mean, I'm a fan of the running game, right? So my team takes a running back in the top five. I love it. It doesn't matter that I wanted Jalen Ramsey that draft because I did. But as soon as they took Zeke, I said, I'm here for it. I'm all the way here for it. All right, tight at the top, gun formation. We got a tight end motion, a fake handoff, pick up a couple yards. Now, what does this look like? All right, we're faking wide zone. We opened the game with a wide zone run where the tight end gave us some split zone action, right? So now we're going to do that. We're going to fake it, and we're going to give the ball to that tight end. So this is all very intentional. And I don't know about you, but I wasn't seeing this level of intention the last few years under Mike McCarthy. And I'm not saying it wasn't a good offense. You get to 12 and 5 3 years in a row. You lead the league in scoring a couple times. You can't boo-hoo the offense, but it wasn't fun, and it got predictable, and it wasn't balanced. So now, do we have the ingredients to actually survive against tougher teams and in tougher scenarios and in the playoffs where, hey, you might have to run the ball? You know, that's kind of the thing. It's not just fun, but is it more functional and efficient when it's really needed, when the big games are on the line? And that's what we're gonna have to just wait and see. Is this season the season that we get to see it? I don't know. I don't know because are we built and healthy enough for a playoff run? Any given Sunday. Let's leave it at that. That's not what this video is for. Javante turning it out. Let's look at this angle so we can see the hole that he ran through better. All right, so one of my favorite run schemes. Got a little duo action. We are gonna see a double team and a double team. One-on-one blocks. I think we're gonna scan the field to see what's left, and we are gonna work up towards these two. So we're effectively ignoring this guy in case, unless he makes himself a threat. Because you double. Again, this is where we're running. So we're not using too many resources to get to this guy if he's not affecting the play so much. Your double teams are coming to 49 and 44. Your running back's reading 44. That's the linebacker he's reading. So since, let's go back a few screens. So everybody's working this combo. So these two blockers and this running back are all keying off this linebacker. This is what determines where we're going to run with the ball. The linebacker comes here, as he sure is. You're supposed to have these two blocks like this, which would mean your running back wants to run this way. Makes sense, right? Of course, if the linebacker scraped this way, then we would have this lineman coming off the block. That way, we're going to stay on and hold this block, and then your running back will continue this way. But as it is, we see where the linebacker's going. You see those blocks take place just like we said. Let's watch it again. See both of our double teams. We're trying to get off and get up to 49. We're getting off and getting to 44. Javante sees it, and he's coming in through the hole. Here we go. We got our motion. Now, this is a little bit different only because we're typically getting this motion right up to about the butt of the offensive guard. This time we went over to the tackle, but he's still dashing right back across the line of scrimmage, giving that same look. And now we're going to fake the handoff. This is the handoff we're typically getting. And we're going to do an end around with that tight end lead blocking. Does it pick up a whole lot of yards? No. But is it efficient? Yes, it picks up enough yards. Is it sensible? Absolutely, because we can see what it's building on. We can see the natural progression of the offense and how this will fit in. We have an excellent play caller slash play designer slash offensive coaching staff in Dallas right now. We got to do something about the defense, but we have an excellent offensive staff. You know what was really clever about this? You have Jalen Tolbert taking off upfield. Cavante Turpin taking off upfield. This single high safety is in no position to play anything down here in the flats. So all your play action has to do is create a little bit of space for you to get this ball out. See the safety? He can't focus over here. So now George Pickens is catching this ball 20 yards between himself and the deep safety. Short pass, a lot of yak, but this was designed yak. This is, we are getting the ball in your hands in space, go make a play. The run fake absolutely sold it. Look at all the defenders. Everybody's on the run. Everybody's on the run. Excellently done. And see, the thing here too that really sells the run is that Dak has the ball so tight to his body. It's hard to see that it wasn't passed off. We're in our pistol formation, and this time it's open. Open meaning we don't have a tight end attached to the line of scrimmage. So it's pistol weak because we're now going to look and say, okay, this is the receiving strength, but we do not have a tight end attached to the line of scrimmage here. We have 3 wide receivers instead. And this as a screen absolutely works for me. There was a play in the first game where one of the running backs were in this position. Cavante Turpin motioned over and got a touch pass. And this guy was the lead blocker. And I actually said at the time, I want to see Hunter Lipke in that role. I want to see Hunter Lipke right here lead blocking from this position on an outside run. And I got it. I got it right here on this play. It's not the exact same play, but I did get exactly what I had been looking for. So Jalen Tolbert's role on this play is excellent. You're going to motion him over. You're going to send him vertical. And that gives your running backs just enough space to be able to operate. You have your number one running back and you have your fullback out in space looking for somebody to hit and looking for yards to gain. And this was another great play. You're just keeping defenses on their heels. And this pistol formation We are using this pistol formation and using it successfully. This isn't just some gadgetry. We're seeing it more and more in the offense over the course of these 3 games. And that one was a free play. That's why Dak was calling for the ball so much. Yeah, yeah, free play, free play. Let's go. First and 10. 3 tight ends in the game. But of course, Hunter is a fullback. But I'm going to call him a tight end when he's lined up as a tight end. So just for clarity. And we're going to get our motion. We love our motion. Let's see what play we're running off of it this time. We got to pull in lineman. Woo! The blocks on that one. So now what's really cool, because of the fact that we're studying this game and we're studying this team and we're seeing the offense game after game, there are certain things you can look for and actually see as it's happening in game or before it happens in game. So when you see this motion, for me, as soon as I see 73 pop up, I know we're getting a power run. Or I think we are. It may well be something else. It may be that we're doing a play action and using the pulling guard to make it look like the power run. But look, see right here, pop up. There you go, right? And look, you get your block, you get your whim, you get your wrap. Miles Sanders, wonderful job running through the hole. Wonderful job being patient. Great job hitting the hole and finishing that run. Don't get our motion, and just for fun, let's let it play a little bit further. Here we go. We won't do this for every run because we do fully understand it now, but this one was just so beautifully executed. There goes your wall. It's not always going to be this clean. This is why I want to draw it out. Here comes your wham in the D gap. And then we're going to finish it off nicely with the wrap on the second level defender. We're going to play it slowly because I really did like this one. Now, we're not always going to draw it out, of course, because we do understand what the power run looks like now, but this was so beautifully done. I have to draw this out. There is your wall. Here comes your wham on the D-gap defender. And that tight end motion is going to come up and give you the wrap on that second level defender. This was about as good as you're going to see it. There's your wham. Here comes your wrap. Look at Miles Sanders. Read the play. Get down behind his block and get small through the hole. The Dallas Cowboys running backs are doing a great job. There he goes. There he goes. This is beautiful. I could watch this play on repeat for 30 minutes and not get bored. Speaking of a play I could watch over and over and not get bored. Look at this. Look at all the moving parts. And then just a beautiful, beautiful pass. The thing that's awesome about this, there's so much going on. So much going on. All in here and all in here. But if you watch Dak and Pickens, you're just going to see 2 guys playing pitch and catch. And Dak's just going to drop the ball in. It really, really is a beautiful play to watch. We're going to focus on Dak and Pickens, and then we're going to come in and look at everything else. See? That didn't look crazy at all if you're just looking at those two and keeping a spotlight on those two. Now, when we break this thing down into its parts, we're going to get the motion from Cavante. Okay, excellent. Linemen up, doing their thing, blocking. It looks like we are getting that same wide zone with our split zone block. That's what it looks like, right? Instead, we're going to leak out and run here. and we're gonna get this from George Pickens, while the defense tries to figure out what exactly is going on because there's a whole lot going on. Oh, and by the way, don't forget the play action as a part of this split turn, right? So you truly end up with George Pickens over here 1-on-1. Look at everybody else. Everybody else is biting down on the run fake, paying attention to the motion. Then Ferguson now, because we did this and threw a dump off to Ferguson earlier, he's drawn attention of two defenders. This has to be it. We blew it up. We figured it out. Not exactly. It was a beautiful catch by George Pickens, the one-handed catch. But have you ever seen an easier, beautiful one-handed catch? This didn't take much effort. He had the whole third of the end zone to himself. It's absolutely masterful. Yeah, so this was a frustrating game in the end, mostly because of the injuries, the defense's inability to get stops, the offense's inability to get into the end zone, and I get it. I'm a fan too. I watch the Cowboys every week, not just to study the game tape, but because I want to see them win, right? I was born in '82, so I was 13 the last time we did anything significant. And I feel that frustration, but I actually find that doing this gives me a whole lot of joy because I'm able to walk away from the game extremely encouraged because I have so many takeaways. I can look and say, first of all, we put our tackles in much better position. And you're watching this game, see how infrequent Tyler Guyton had to use vertical sets. See how infrequent he was on that island with all that space as opposed to getting on that defender with a jump set or allowing the defender to come to him with a shorter path with that 45-degree set. That alone is encouraging because it shows that your coaching staff is learning and using their personnel correctly. But we're also seeing our power run game. We're seeing that grow. We're seeing it evolve. We're seeing these different motions and formations like the pistol strong, pistol weak evolve. And we're seeing how they're just layering things and developing this scheme right before our eyes. And these are things that you miss if you just watch a game on a Sunday, watch the next game on a Sunday, which is great. There's nothing wrong with experiencing the game like that. I personally feel like I just need more, and this is how I get it. Oh yeah, the in your backfield on this one. We got our double teams. Oh, we had a lineman fall down. Okay, yeah, that muddied up everything. Got a little motion. Guyton struggled on this one. Yeah, he got blown by on that one. See, and this is a situation where he wasn't using a vertical set. So, like I said, it's not that he doesn't have any difficulties when he's using a 45 or a jump set. It's just that he wins more than he loses, and he doesn't lose as badly. All right, we got a light box, 39. Okay. On to the next drive. Well, let's see what our pass protection look like. Nice. And here you see we Tyler Guyton got that chip again from the tight end, and he handled himself in space. Handled himself in space quite well. And see, you might find it interesting that I'm focused on Tyler Guyton more than I am Tyler Booker, and I'll tell you why. One, because he could get that killed on Sunday against Michael Parsons, but two, If he doesn't develop this season, and if you don't see the things you need to see this season, you got to start thinking about what your draft strategies are, or what your off-season strategies are for free agency. I mean, you probably got to think about it anyway because Terrence Steele just looks washed. But determining positions of need, do we need two tackles, right? So paying attention to Tyler Guyton for those reasons, really. And a lot really hinges on him. If he can hold firm this season, we see what this offense can be. We see what this offense can be, and he and Terrence Steele are really the Achilles heels. So a lot of it is going to be, hey, how can we scheme around it by not putting them in bad positions? They both did great right there. They had help, and that's, hey, scheme. I keep saying, help these guys out. So we're doing a great job there. Now, second half, we're starting with my favorite. Oh man, is this not a beautiful thing to watch? I'm sorry if I say it a lot, but I cannot get over how much I am enjoying the way they are not using motion just as dressing. The motion is a vital part of the scheme right now. And if you see, watch 73, because this is another wrinkle. 73 isn't in any way, shape, or form attempting to block this three tack. 73 is climbing past him to get to the second level and leaving him for, hey, where are you now? So he's leaving him for the tight end to block. So what is that? What does that look like? That looks like trap, right? This is a trap. How we got there is very interesting. It's not what we're used to seeing, but this is a trap run. Take a look. 73, running around 50. He got no interest in him, right? Where does the block come from? Right there. The opposite side of the center. It's a trap run. And it's run very well. We are building so many layers onto this one motion. It's a beautiful offense. It's a beautiful offense. The scoreboard doesn't reflect as much, but this is a really, really beautiful offense. And I really hope we don't get people starting to give up on the offense because of one bad game. And the truth is, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, it's one bad game where you lose CeeDee Lamb very early in the game. What happens as we move forward? Of course, the first thing everybody says is you got George Pickens, you got Jake Ferguson, Cavante Turpin, etc. And the first thing everybody says, though, is, okay, maybe we'll be more run heavy. We've been running the ball a lot. Yeah, I think so. But I also think it's a chicken and an egg thing because defenses are also going to be able to play heavier boxes because we don't have CD, right? So we got to balance that and see exactly how we can best leverage what defenses give us going forward. We may well have to pass the ball to prove we can pass it without CD. All right, so looking for 1 yard, 2nd and 1 to go. Tight end's going to come across, pick up somebody to block. Get that out. Javante found that 1 yard. Some spinning and twirling and whirling and whatnot, but he picked up the 1 yard. Dak might have been able to. I mean, was Tolbert an option here? Let's watch Tolbert. Tolbert's gonna run across your screen here. Let's see what happened there. Dak looks up. Oh, he had already looked away. That's a shame. He looked off Tolbert really fast. But hey, listen, When you think about how fast all this happens, it's very easy for somebody with a space bar to pause. It's very easy for me to look and say, "Oh, look at that, you missed that." So this isn't a criticism of Dak. This is more, man, missed opportunity. But the cool thing is, they're able to rewatch all of this film as well and look and say, "Hey, ooh, I missed that." In fact, he probably saw it on the tablet on the sidelines. They have their iPads or whatever, right? So nice quick dump off. Yeah, the Bears were looked like they were already playing safe, huh? This deep coverage. Hey, here goes our power run. Here goes our power run. This is a good job. So you're gonna get your wham from 73. Your wrap from 40. And we're gonna hit this hole. And it's Miles Sanders again. Great job, Miles. So watch Hunter keep his eye on his assignment. You're gonna see here's your wham. He gets there. But 44. This is Hunter's assignment. He's not getting distracted up in here with these defenders. He is on his assignment because he knows this guy's accounted for. Terrence Steele's gonna block him. Double team. He gets to his assignment. Hunter gets to his assignment. This is assignment sound football. And Miles Sanders rewarded them by running through the gap he's supposed to run through. You see all your blocks? Your blocks are there. Now, could he have possibly been a little bit more patient and going behind Hunter? Sure. But you find a gap inside, you take that gap. 9 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10. I'm happy with that run. Pick up. So again, we're gonna get another zone run. It was wonderful. The mixture of zone and gap run. So again, we got a positive gain running this split flow zone action. You're gonna see this tight end come block down. Here we go, motioning into our pistol. Motioning into our pistol. Pistol weak this time. And Dak just gets ruined. Because we didn't have any routes down below. So we should have had ample protection. Oh, is it Guyton? Look at the top of your screen. We're giving you your flowers, Guyton, but we have to call you out when you get beat. Here's another example of a situation where it wasn't the vertical set that got Guyton in trouble. Guyton just got beat off the snap badly. Right here. The reach. Look when Guyton goes up to reach. His hand gets slapped away. And this is where he loses this rack. Right here. It's amazing the intricacies of offensive and defensive line. Watch that left hand go up and get slapped down. And he turns his whole body. He turns his whole body. And 90's gone. Whatever potential this play had was dead right there. Can't play that passive. Can't play that passive. Motion into empty. Third and 16. Live to fight another down. All right, 3 seconds left to go in the third. This is where the Bears just ran off the rest of the clock, right? Yo, a little 5'9" Cavante Turpin held onto this ball like a G because this was a hit. This was a hit and a half. Let's take a look at the pass protection, and then we're gonna see that hit again. Pass protection look good. Guyton, you're up because you just got beat. I want to see what happens. Hands on, Stonewall. Way to recover, Guyton. Way to recover. I'm sorry, Terrence Steele. I haven't been paying much attention to you. But Guyton's doing a great job. He's doing a great job this game. Look at 5'9" Cavante Turpin. He don't even know where he is right now, but he has the ball in his hands. So I like the concept of the play design here because you're gonna get this motion and a fade or a wheel almost. You're gonna have this post, and then down below you're gonna have a short crosser. The spacing is great against zone, and each of these routes, depending on matchup, can beat man. It's a really, really nice concept. But the pass protection broke down, so what was going on there is the question. Oh, it's right up the middle. It's the rookie. What's going on over there, Tyler Booker? Let's see. Ooh, 99 just swam him. Welcome to the NFL. Yeah, that's a good honest beat. It's a nice way to get a tight end screen. Brevin Spanford. Anytime you see the tight ends with the ball in space, you look and you say, I wonder what Spanford could have done with that. That said, Spanford does have a few instances or occurrences of half-ass blocking. That's probably keeping him from seeing more time. Um, and he does a great job most time. He does. But there's once or twice where he just throws himself at the defensive player's feet. It's it's just not good enough. So my guess is that's what's keeping him from seeing more playing time. Because when he's being used as a weapon in the offense, he's a weapon in the offense. So that can't be keeping him off the field. Mm. Flag on the play. Flag on your Dallas Cowboys. That probably could have got that out faster. The guy didn't go early there. Nah, he didn't. He didn't. Yo, I don't know if George Pickens has an easier ball to catch this whole game, but I guess this sums the game up, right? Good protection. Yeah, it was good protection. Offensive line did well. George just lost his concentration. It looks like. All right, so of course we're starting to get into semi desperation mode now. Down 17 points. 9 minutes to play. Yeah. On this one, no, your protection wasn't all that bad, and your clock just has to be going and saying, okay, I either gotta move or get rid of the ball. Yeah, that's too long to stand still in the pocket. Turk. Turk looked like he had a beat on that one. Yeah. I see the protection. Not bad. Got him putting dudes in the dirt. Got him fighting. A few good raps by Tyler Guyton. Man acquitted himself quite nicely in this game. I'm pretty much focused on Tyler Guyton the rest of this game because it's just a drop back and sling the ball. Hope we can get points game at this point, right? Hands on. Nothing particularly worth watching on that one from Guyton. There we go. Yeah, good job. Yeah, when Guyton gets his hands on, he typically does a good job when he's able to get his hands on early. There's still a whole lot of potential. We can't give up on the kid, but he does have to continue to grow and develop. It is time. We don't want to Mozzie Smith him yet, you know, because I was holding out hope for Mozzie, but I think I'm past that now. He managed to stay in front of this dude. Let's see what happens. Good rap. Good rap. The back helped him out on that one. Oh, beautiful, Cavante. Beautiful. Yeah, see, this one needed time to develop. So I'm glad you have this back end of the chip. And it was the plan. You can see the plan was for him to come over and help out. See, so these are some of the things I was talking about after the Giants game. You know, how do you help him? So if you have this pass play where you know he needs to set vertical, and you know it needs to be a little bit long because you're trying to get that deep down the field to Cavante, this is what you do. He's getting beat if you don't do this, and the back comes to block just in time, just in time. Dump off. We're in empty because why not at this point? Ooh, the book got tripped up, or did he get knocked over? He got knocked over. He wasn't ready for it. He was not ready. Yeah, he was stood up too straight. Yeah, you'll learn now. You'll learn. They are definitely watching that one in the film room. Got bunch, motion. Taking shots because why not? Man, I really thought Javante was gonna crash some dudes into the end zone just now. And this was where Cowboy fans got a little annoyed because we're throwing the rock, throwing the rock, throwing the rock, and the thought is, hey, why not run it? They haven't stopped Javante for less than a yard all night. Ball's picked off. And then we got some Joe Milton in the game, which is always fun. We're gonna play action, that wide zone. Milton has that rifle of an arm. Gets that ball out of there nice and fast. And on target. Milton looks like he's ready for the big time. Good throw. I am in no way, shape, or form signing off on quarterback controversy. I'm just giving Milton his flowers. Do a run, put your head down, and just get a couple yards. I'm okay with that. Here we go again. Watch Tyler Booker. He's going to pull to give you that, really sell that play action. Marrying the run to the pass. This is what we're about. Brevin Spanford. Telling you, I want this guy in the game. We all want this guy in the game a little bit more than he is. It's great play action. It's a great play action. But the amount of mustard Joe Milton puts on this ball, it's ridiculous. Portland lineman again. Tyler Smith this time. Zip it in there, Joe. Good throw. Watch Tyler Smith's going to pull. 73 is Tyler Smith. Beautiful. Get him off the spot. Move the launch point. Let that thing rip. It was nice to see Joe get in the game. Hindsight being 2020, it would have been nice to see whoever the backup right guard is get in the game as well. Unfortunately, Tyler Booker gets injured during this waste of time period, but those are the breaks. Anytime you pull him out, we would have been saying, "Oh, the rookie needs reps. Get him as much experience as possible." Right? So that's the thankless job of an NFL head coach. We are gonna complain no matter what. We're gonna run a trap. Go block on the trap. Pin and pull doesn't get far. Guyton did a good job to stay in front of his man on that one. He looked like he was beat right there. He looked like he was beat, but he recovered. If they're begging you to run it, sometimes you just gotta run it. So you think nobody in here? All right, fine. You know what I mean? If you insist. And that's a bowl game.